There we go.
Yeah, we're live.
Hey, welcome to One Side of the Coin. I'm your host, Steveo the Gamer, and with me, as always,
Mack-Attack.
and we're live. Look, got a little choppy there for a second. Wait a minute. We're not at Heads or Tails.
No, this
Where
is
are
the
we?
store.
You must have been in the vortex again.
Yeah.
No way. Anyway, I think I know where we're at.
Where are we?
We are at Bold and Bright Tattoos here in Brantford, Ontario. As you notice, my arm is off screen. You probably can't hear the buzzing, or you might be able to hear the buzzing. I'm getting tattooed here in town, Brantford. So I did some research on tattoo places. Found out that this place, by far, probably one of the best tattoo places here in Brantford. So you definitely got to check them out. Amazing artist. Vic, is it?
Yes.
Yes, getting tattooed by Vic right now while we're streaming for Genesis Battle of Champions. Yes, our show's a little bit early because we wanted to do this while I was getting tattooed. So I'm trying to thought there for a second. It's a little difficult to concentrate while this is getting done. But anywho, so yeah, if you're interested in getting a tattoo, definitely check these people out. Awesome place, great atmosphere, very friendly.
For mine.
What?
So we're definitely gonna come back.
Come
for
back.
mine.
Oh, you're not gonna have me do it?
Well, yeah.
Okay, you gotta let me do at least one of your tattoos.
Oh, I know exactly what one you're doing.
Yeah.
I already have one that I want you to do.
So with saying that, yeah, normally I do most of my own tattoos, but the fact that I'm right-handed, I can't do this one, and I wanted, like, I'm not professional, obviously, whatever, so I wanted this one to be done by an amazing artist such as this guy right here. Putting the trust in his hands to make this tattoo look perfect. So, but yeah, let's get into talking about some Genesis, right? So today we wanted to discuss some of the cards for Origins. As we said, we were going to be doing a show breaking down all the whole entire set for Origins that just released. So we're anticipating the retail version to be coming out very soon in Q4. So probably looking at sometime in September. There hasn't been an actual set and grade date yet, but we're hoping for it. Super excited about it. However, the Kickstarter has come out. We got it. We've been playing with it. We are really experimenting, building a lot of decks for Origins, testing it, right? So we've been doing a lot of play testing.
You and Cam especially.
Yeah. So my Origins has got my son all excited. I'm back into it. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy?
Hi, Grandma Brown Dogs. That's Sid.
Is it a Genesis tattoo? No. So yeah, Cam has actually started getting back into Genesis. He's been spending a few days down with me at the store, building some new timelines, and we're going to get into discussing one of the ones that he actually built, which kind of blew me away. So
that kid is coming up with some stuff. Let me tell
with some crazy stuff. He's been out of Genesis for a little while, but he hears stuff that we're talking, and he likes to design things himself, right? He's drawing pictures for creatures that he is trying to create for Genesis.
Oh yeah,
right?
that guy's always got some good stuff.
Some really, really good stuff. So we've had a few weeks now to kind of really get a feel for the cards in Genesis. And so Mack-Attack and I kind of went over the entire list. And I think I had a little bit of help from some of the community members because when I was showing it to them last night, here's our list of best cards. They were kind of giving suggestions and we're going to get into that when we're discussing our list. So as always, just a reminder that one side of the coin, this is our opinion kind of thing, not a Genesis tat. It is a tat of my face. We are getting Jeff Pizzio as a chibi art tattooed on Steveo the Gamer. Yeah, 100%. It'd be crazy, right? I don't know. There's a question for Jeff. Have you ever done a chibi art of yourself? Have we seen a chibi art of Jeff? I think on his Facebook. Maybe?
No.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
We'll have to take a look at that. If he hasn't, maybe that's a recommendation, right? To have him do his own chibi art, right? What he should have done was put his face on the logo.
Wow.
Maybe. Anyway.
You poor guy.
So yeah, I did have a little bit of assistance from my own community members. They gave us a bit of suggestions because I haven't played with everything that's in the full set. What?
Oh no, identity theft. If you tattoo my face over your face, people will get confused. Jeff Pastivo.
Okay, Jeff, you can't make me laugh. Oh no way! I hate chibis. Never do one of myself. Then why do you do chibi art, Jeff? Right?
That's what you're like
known for. Right?
Yeah.
That's why we call him the chibi dude, right? All the time. But anywho, so since we got a lot of time to kill, this is probably going to be a very lengthy video. So sit back, grab a coffee, have some lunch, whatever. Yeah, we're going to do the top 5 for each affiliation, breaking down the cards of what we think and giving our opinions. As I said, reminder, it's our opinion. We make your own judgment. Everybody has their own opinion as far as what they like and dislike this for the game. Right? So there was a bit of, as I said, a bit of influence from the gameplay of the actual community, etc. So keep that in mind as well. So, and then obviously your opinion on them, because I know you wanted some honorable mentions. I think I chose 6 cards for Phage because Phage being the new affiliation. There's a lot more cards for Phage in Origins.
7 for Thymos as well.
No. Oh, because of the honorable mentions, I think. But anyway, well, we picked out a bunch of cards.
One honorable mention is Phage and the other is Axon.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, what?
Because I said the colors of the honorable mentions. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Jason's on there. Hey, Jason, how you doing? Okay, so you want to get into it? Let's get into it. You brought the cards?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start off. First off, we're going to talk about the actual Galarian cards. Okay, so Galarian cards can be used by any champion in Genesis. So there's absolutely some really, really amazing cards for the Galarian itself. So this one was a little bit easier to break down. We do see a lot more Galarian cards in the game. The set does have a considerable amount more than what the previous sets have had. So keep that in mind. It's giving people more options, right? So it's like you don't have enough of the actual affiliations to put in for what you want to build. The Galarian cards will definitely support a lot of stuff. So let's go. What's the first one we picked?
The first one is Aura Purge.
Aura Purge.
We're right here.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that because I definitely cannot see past my hand.
Yes.
So,
okay, read it out.
Aura Purge. It is a 6 health, 5 cheat card. The Swift Trap at 5 energy. Place Aura Purge onto an unoccupied spot in the arena. Trigger is Aura Purge. If a champion leaves the spot Aura Purge is on, they must pay 8 aura. Then the continuous cast is champions on Aura Purge cannot draw cards from abilities they play. Wow.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, exactly. So we're welcoming Sid to the stream. Genesis BOC just jumped in, saying that he's really busy, but he's listening, right? So it's like, okay, thanks for joining us. All right. Very important stream for you, especially right tonight. And Jeff's telling them there should be a bunch of empty pallets and they should be resting. Yeah, no doubt, right? But we're waiting for the retail, right? So traps. It's a trap. Lots and lots of traps in Origins. This being one of the better ones, in my personal opinion, for the game, right? So because there was so many issues with cards such as Epiphany, dedicated studies, like a lot of OTKs were coming out of the woodworks. Dedicated, you mill 2, draw 2, and then you discard 2, right? So it was highly used for cycling through your timeline, right, to get what you needed, especially for some of those OTK decks, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of I think the only one that actually has 2 abilities to it, right? Or 2 benefits from actually utilizing this trap. The first being that if they want to get off of this, they have to pay the 8 aura.
Yeah.
Regardless. Whereas a lot of the traps, there's only the one effect where once they come off of the trap, then it's one thing only. This one, they have to pay the 8 aura in order to get off of it, right? So, however, while they're still on it, they cannot draw any cards from abilities that they play, which totally stops Epiphany, totally stops Dedicated Studies, or any other card, or even like one that we're going to talk about later on, the Draw Break, right? So those are abilities that are played or that are obtained by those card effects, or Purge actually stops it. So the fact that it can be used by any champion is awesome, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
It doesn't matter which champion you're using. So what do you think? Should people be playing a lot of these, or is it a splash sideboard card? What's your thoughts?
I think it should be like put into a deck. I feel like having
Board?
it put in the deck is so worth it because yeah, it stops a lot of different things. And it's like you better pray, or your opponent better pray that you're using a champion with high aura.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to use a lot of those.
Yeah. So I mean, it wastes a bit. Somebody's asking if we're at a tattoo shop. They just joined us. Aviation Arcade. Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Oh boy, yes, we are at a tattoo shop. So, yeah. So the fact that it uses up their resources, if they want to get off of it, right, in order to be able to draw cards from those card effects.
Yeah.
But it also stops them, right? So it's kind of a mandatory thing, especially if you're wanting to get all those draws, right? And in any TCG, you know that drawing more cards to have access to more stuff to be able to play is huge. And to have that stopped by this card specifically, right? It's definitely a thing. I highly recommend main board. I don't think you need to play a lot, right? Maybe one or two, because there are other cards that can get opponents back onto this. So if you just look at Kato alone, right, he has that ability to move things at swift speed into a spot around him, and we'll get into a situation about that later on when we get into talking about the Phage cards, because I was playing a game with Sid, and he was actually utilizing Kato's ability to keep me on my own Spore Flower, right? Yeah, we're going to get into talking about that a little bit more after, but yeah, so this is probably by far one of the better Jalarian cards. Splashing it in, 100%, you're going to want to consider it. But I mean, you're not going to know what your opponent's using at any given time when you sit down and have a match right against them. Are they actually going to be utilizing stuff like Epiphany, etc.? Okay. A little tender there. I'm okay.
It's gonna say just like stop.
Yeah, so like having it splashed in. However, if your opponent is not using it, there are ways to get rid of this card, right? Itself. If you're not needing it, you're going to be able to discard it. Or either that, you're just going to hold on to it. It's going to become a dead card in your hand. Not a huge big deal. The fact it's 5 cheap, easy to balance, highly recommended. Next one.
The Territorial Lala. Oh, bear.
Yes.
So the action beckon, or sorry, it has 5 health, 7 chi. It's got a 3 across.
3 across.
Yeah,
3 across. Yeah, 3 across forward awareness. Yeah.
Yes. The action beckon is 19 aura. The swift basic attack, a 4. And the continuous elemental resistance. All elemental damage dealt to Territorial Bala by abilities is reduced by 1. Oh my god, I knew someone was going to ask.
So I was going to ask it.
I
It's
knew
gotta
it.
be Grandma Brand hot dog,
Of
right?
course. No, I'm not getting a tattoo. I wish, though. I absolutely wish. But
One
no,
day.
I'm not. Yeah, one day.
Full sleeve?
No.
You think you could handle a full sleeve?
Maybe?
Maybe. Do you want a full sleeve? There's the question, right?
We're probably going to end up with them at one point.
Yeah.
But definitely not all in one go. My sleeve will not all be planned. It will be whatever ends up on my arm. That's what my sleeve. That's what my sleeve will consist of. But no, I'm not getting a tattoo tonight. Oh, my 16th birthday is coming up around the corner. So
Yeah. Okay, so
yeah.
Big Bear.
All elemental damage dealt to territorial Bala by abilities is reduced by 1. Elemental damage includes air, earth, water, electric, fire, holy, and dark. So any elemental damage is reduced by 1. So it's almost like
So stuff
you're
like
basically getting hit with the same if you get the weakness put onto you.
no, it's resistance.
No, I know, but
So-
say if you were to get an
If he
elemental
was to
weakness
get
on
the
him,
weakness,
you'd be
you would just take
yeah.
the straight up damage if we were to give him weakness, right? So, so the damage would go straight through. However, you wouldn't have to add the 1 on if he doesn't have the weakness. That there's so much elemental damage in the game right now, right? So like especially with Phage coming in, you now got a lot of electric damage. Axon with the water damage, air damage for Bellum, etc., right? So a lot of damages are actually having that elemental value to it, and giving something the weakness to add the benefits of having the weakness, the extra damage, etc., to take things out a lot quicker. This resists that. He's a beast, right? The awareness, he has the same awareness as the enraged gorilla. Right. However, the ranged gorilla having the counterattack, this doesn't use more or less the resistance. At swift speed to do 4 damage is really, really good, right? So any champion can use it. So I don't know if this is going to be a very heavily played main board deck or card. However, splashing it into a sideboard, right, or sorry, your forethoughts kind of thing, is going to be highly recommended, especially when you're sitting down at a major tournament and you end up facing somebody that's playing nothing but elemental damage, right? So to have a summon that's got a resistance to it, right, that's going to be able to withstand a lot of the heavy elemental damage and surpass it, that awareness is great. It stops anything from coming in on angles or on flanks. It can be a very good protector, right? 4 damage at swift speed. And however, chi value 7 is high. I think at a 6 it might have been a little bit better, but it's hard to say because of that resistance. I can understand why they're giving it the 7 chi value, but to have that in a forethought, highly recommend.
Yeah. Is that it for that one?
I think so. Unless you have anything you wanted to add to it.
No.
The artwork, really cool. You got that bear busting out of the.
Looks like he's being like either like held in by the ice and he's like busting out,
breaking,
or it's
he's
growing
breaking
on
through.
him. It could be growing on him.
Breaking through. Who's the artist?
Mario,
yes. Yeah, once again, Mario's amazing art. Okay, card number 3 for July.
Harry. I spelled this wrong last night, and I didn't realize it.
Perry.
I spelled it wrong. I spelled it Perry.
What's Perry do?
So it has 3 health, 1 forward awareness, 6 chi. The action beckon at 12 aura. Action cast at exert 2. Perry deals 3 damage to a target in its awareness. Is that an automatic thing?
It's cast. It's at action speed.
Oh wait, it's like an attack, but it's a cast.
It's not an attack. It's a cast.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It does damage.
It does damage. Yeah.
The continuous tiny is Perry can move onto a spot even if it's occupied, and it does not occupy the spot it is on. Perry cannot be targeted.
Because they're tiny. Yeah, exactly.
Itsy bitsy Perry.
Ridiculously good summon for Jalarian. For a Jalarian card, I should say. Yeah. I think it outweighs the bear by all means because it can't be targeted, right?
Too.
So, however, the only threat against it is like you're looking at AOE damage, such as like tsunamis, electrical storm, etc., right? And it doesn't occupy the spot, which is pretty crazy. It doesn't have flight, but can move on to other stuff, right? So it doesn't actually have flight listed on the card, but has the ability, very similar to.
Yeah, just because it's so tiny, it doesn't occupy, and it can go into occupied stuff.
The only one other small downfall of this card, action speed for the cast, right?
Yeah.
So it's slow, right?
And
However,
it exerts you right after.
and it exerts. Well, yeah, a lot of the attacks on most summons do exert them. It kind of slows it down a little bit. However, with it not being able to be targeted, so they would have to wipe it out using an AoE style spell or whatnot. It's going to survive a lot longer. That you're going to be able to utilize it for its action speed cast, right? To really play with it yet, I do happen to want to quiet. It's not fun.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go grab a drink quick.
It's on the hand. Okay. I haven't had the actual opportunity to play with this card yet, but just by reading it and taking a closer look, I want to see this card in action. So I'm definitely going to try and splash it into maybe one or two timelines and see how it actually operates, right? So yeah, but it seemed the value of it seems really actually.
Yeah, for the 12 aura too, especially with what it does. Even though the cast is an action, it does 3, and again, can't be targeted. You can move wherever you want because you're so freaking tiny. It works. Pretty good, especially since you can use it with anyone. I thought she would have been a blue card. I guess I was wrong.
Nope. Well, it's all white, right? So.
It's blue too.
It's a fairy.
Yeah.
Or no, it's a sprite.
They're similar, aren't they?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Next
one.
Mystic Protections. Hopefully they can see that okay. It's kind of dark, but it's also really bright at the same time. So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jeff has had his company hire a guy that works at his LGS. At least once a day, he pops in by my office to chat TCGs. That's one of the best things about owning a card shop, right? It's just having people drop in and just shooting shit about games, right? Like talking about the games, especially when my Genesis community drops by, right? Whether they're there to play Commander, because some of them do crossover for different games and whatnot. But while they're there, we're still talking about Genesis, right? I'm constantly talking about Genesis.
It was so funny because the cardboard cohorts, had mentioned being at work, and Jeff goes, haha, I'm at work too, pretending I'm on an important phone call through, though, and waving people away when they come by my office.
That's bad, Jeff.
I would do that too, though. I would do that too.
Yeah, right.
Worth it.
But yeah. Okay, so let's get into Mystic Protection.
Mystic Protection. So it has a 1 forward and 2 sides awareness.
Triangle awareness, that's what we're calling it.
The 6 chi, a swift cast at 14 aura. Prevent all damage dealt to you by enemy abilities that are not targeting you this round. I read that right?
Yep.
Yes. Swift defense of 4 for 7 aura. Prevent the next 4 damage dealt to you by a target in Mystic Protection's awareness this round.
Yes.
So not only are you preventing all damage dealt to you by enemy abilities that are not targeting you, you can prevent the next 4 damage dealt to you.
All damage, right?
The advantage.
Yeah.
Prevent all damage dealt to you that is not targeting you.
Mm-hmm.
So with the boost of AoE damage, such as Electrical Storm, and then the ever popular Tsunami, that's like mass amounts of damage. This thing's going to be able to stop it, right? Because you're not getting targeted by those spells, and the damage is not going to go through by playing this. However, you find that you're not playing against an AoE style deck, or your opponent's not really utilizing those, but you're taking, like, say you're playing against a Swarm deck, you're going to have a whole bunch of summons coming in at you from every direction. You can still utilize this card by preventing 4 damage that is targeting you.
Yeah.
Right? So the option, right? It gives you an option. The fact that any champion can use this card puts it by far probably one of my number 1 cards for Jalera from Origins, right? So I think this card is going to be mainlined 100%. The 6 chi for what it does, absolutely amazing. Above and beyond one of the greater Jalarian cards, one of the greater cards we've seen thus far in Genesis, I think. Whereas in the past, you're looking at stuff like Holy Wall that prevents all damage dealt to you this round. And when we get into talking about Vellum, some of the newer protection spells and whatnot, however, restricted to certain affiliations. This one being able to be used by any champion is going to be absolutely amazing. You're going to definitely want to be putting this in. Does it outweigh if you're using a Vellum champion? If you're using a Vellum champion, are you going to want to use this one? Maybe, right? It all depends on your build. The fact that stuff like Holy Wall, which we really haven't seen a reprint for, or if we're ever going to see it, is a 7 cheat. This is a 6 cheat. Pretty much does the exact same thing. The cost is cheap. 14 aura to prevent all that damage coming at you from an AoE. 7 aura just to prevent 4 damage from a side attack, right? Because of that absolutely amazing awareness that you see there, right? So it also prevents from being flanked a lot, right? So yeah, 100% number 1 for my Galarian list.
Yeah. Yep.
There, let's take a quick break. We'll move on to the sun. And we'll highlight them. We're getting there. And then the only letter here missing, I'm gonna go back in a little bit of white to finish the letter. And then I'll get the sun there.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so the artist is taking a little bit of a break. We're just going to keep on going here. Hello, I didn't know you were streaming early. Yeah, so that's Cam. Yeah, hi buddy, how you doing?
Hey,
Yeah, we decided to stream early. We're doing a special stream today, right here from Bold and Bright Tattoos. Yeah, well, this is happening. Well, they're taking a break, but I don't want to move my arm. Anyway, so this last card that we're going to show for the Galarian affiliation was recommended. This is one picked out by my community. They're thinking that this is by far one of the better. I think it's okay. It's decent. I think it's going to be used a lot. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Called shot.
Called shot. Yeah.
Called shot. So it has a double forward awareness, 5 chi, a swift range attack of 3 for 4 energy.
4 energy. Yeah.
Mini bullshot.
Mini bullshot. Yeah, that's
Mini bullshot.
basically what it's being called right now. So
less chi, 1 less of an attack, same price and same awareness.
Same awareness. However, what's the other downfall of it? It's one target. It's not. It's not an area attack. You're only targeting one within the awareness, right? So
it's kind of like a quick shot.
Yeah, it's kind of a step down from the bolt shot, right?
Yeah.
At the same cost, right? So it is lesser chi, lesser damage, same cost, but now every champion has the ability to play something similar to bolt shot. 3 damage to 1 target. It's going to be good. I've already faced against a couple of timelines that have heavily used this. It is a bit devastating, right? Especially when they're able to, because of that double forward awareness, to do that 3 damage, right, at swift speed in response to anything that's like, oh, well, hey, I'm just going to call shot you, right? I'm going to call shot you. And at this point, because Origins is so new, that we're not anticipating it, right? But as we progress and we're going to be playing more and more games and exploring Origins a lot more, expecting this, right? Whereas before it's like, oh, they're playing Vellum, they have Vellum in their affiliations, right? You're expecting that bolt shot, right? So you're actually strategizing to not get hit by a bolt shot, because you have to assume more or less that since they have the ability to play it, to adjust to it, right? So your strategies of playing the game. This one, however, any champion can use it. You're not going to be expecting it at any given time. So basically, if you're playing say a Phage Thymos deck, right, you're not expecting a called shot to be coming out at you, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be very useful. I agree with my community as far as being a really, really good, solid card, especially it was a 6G. I believe it's 6G slot. Oh, it's a 5 chi slot, even better then, right? So I mean, it balances itself out. To be splashing these into your timeline to get that little bit of extra damage that's not expected because they're focused on, okay, well they're playing a summoner deck, right? Are they going to have a lot of call shots, right? Or are they going to be playing anything of that nature, right? And all of a sudden, boom, 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 they start throwing them out, right? Especially in response to a lot of other stuff that's happening. So I think it's going to be an amazing card in the game.
Yeah, I think it'll be good too. On to
What are we doing next?
Bellum.
Bellum.
It's the next one on stack.
Okay.
Is that the right order right there?
Yeah, we can do it in that order because this one here I was a little skeptical on, but I understand why, because it was chosen by some of my community members. Hence, Grandma Brain Hot Dogs there, if he's still watching.
So the first one we have for Bellum is Protected by Faith. So it is a 3 chi card. The Swift Execute for 8 aura or 3 energy is prevent the next 1 damage dealt to you this round. And the continuous modified stack of 5, while protected by Faith's Execute ability is the 5th ability on the stack. Instead of preventing 1 damage, you prevent all damage dealt to you this round. So it's a good stack card.
Yeah.
But you got to make sure it's the 5th one.
The 5th one in the stack, right?
Yeah.
Modified
so you got to make
stack.
sure that your stack is first. Like you're playing something first, and your opponent responds, and you respond, and your opponent responds.
Well, yeah, because you'd be on the odd side kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to. It's techy, right?
You'd have to play
To
first.
prevent the 1 damage for a 3. Okay, let's start off. It's a 3 cheat, right? So it's balances your 7s right away, or 3 with a 4 on the 8 kind of thing. The fact that it's a 3 chi.
Wait, what?
We mean what?
You said a 3 with the 4 on the 8.
Yeah, so if you have an 8 chi, you need a 3 and a 4 to balance. So the average is 5 chi per card, right? So 5 times 3 is 15.
15. Okay,
Right. So
yeah.
between 3 cards, you have to have 15 chi
I
value.
thought you
right?
were trying to say you needed a 3 and a 4 to make an 8. I'm
No,
like,
you need-
that's not right.
No, you need a 3 and a 4 on an 8,
Fun and 8.
right?
Okay,
to
yeah,
balance it out.
I
Right?
got it now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, get with the lingo. What's going on?
Yay. My brain's slow. I think we've
Yeah.
addressed that already.
Anyway, so yeah, the fact that it's a 3 chi, it does prevent only the 1 damage. The tech part of the card is getting it into the stack at that exact spot to
Yeah.
be able to prevent all the damage, right?
Yep.
You prevent all the damage dealt to you for a round. If you're able to successfully get it into that slot, that 5th is 5th, right? It's got the modified stack 5. Get it into that 5th slot to prevent all the damage done to you. And is it for till the end of the round? I haven't used this one yet.
It's continuous, so I
It's
think when
continuous, yeah. So dealt to you until the end of this round.
Yeah.
Is absolutely amazing. So you can basically turn a 3 cheat card into a holy wall, right? For that cost, 8 aura or 3 energy. So now you have an option, right? So if you're playing a very aura heavy deck, you do have that option. Okay, well now I'm just going to spend 3 energy. And depending if you have an energy reduction too on top of it, right? So, or if you're playing a very energy high deck, then you have that option of aura. Or if you haven't used a lot of your resources in either sense, right? Then pick and choose, right? Kind of thing. Absolutely great card. I agree with my guys, kind of thing. For the 3 chi slot for Bellum, yeah. So.
works.
I've seen it already be in the main deck, right? A lot for that 3 chi balance for higher end stuff, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're just utilizing it to prevent that 1 point of damage, saving 1 health could be crucial, especially in late game.
Yeah.
Especially in late game, right? 100%.
So the next one we have is Rob Rake.
Drop right.
Rob Rake. It is a 5 chi card. The action enchant at 8 aura attached Drop Rake as a skill. The trigger count whenever you lose a health, put a counter on this card for each health lost. The trigger break At the beginning of your turn, if draw break has 5 or more counters on it, then you may remove all counters from draw break. If you do, then draw 2 cards and discard a card.
Draw ability for Bellum.
Yeah, it's a cycle one again, kind of. A little bit because you're discarding too.
You have to discard 1, unlike,
Yeah.
say, dedicated studies where you
Draw
mill
2.
2, draw 2, and then discard 2.
There
This
was
one,
another one.
You just get to draw 2 cards and then discard 1.
There was Underworld Dealings. It did.
Cost you 1 life.
Yeah.
No. Underworld Knowledge, you spend 1 life, draw a card.
No, I thought
For
you did
chaos.
2 discard.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Draw ability for Bellum, anyway.
It's not that bad for Adora though.
I think out of all the breaks, I like this one a little bit better. It gives you that little bit of extra draw power. You're going to be taking damage regardless. Getting that 5 damage is not that hard, right, in this game. So to be able to get that draw power for Bellum, so especially if you're playing Bellum Axon, then you got even more draw power, right? Hence reference to our first card that we looked at. You got to be very careful because Aura Purge does exist, right? So Aura Purge can prevent this from actually going off. So if you do the 5, you get the 5 damage done to you at the beginning of the turn. The 5 counters are coming off. If you're on Aura Purge, right, or affected by Aura Purge, you're not going to be able, you don't get to do the draw, right?
Yeah.
So, but the counters would still come off, right? So which is why Aura Purge is so good, right?
Yeah, it's being looked at now.
Yeah. So I mean, each affiliation does have their own break cards. So
Really?
yeah. So you have the Aura break for Axon, which is you gain Aura back. There's the agility break for Thymos, which gives you movement. Chaos has the damage. Kind of like it's Idris's ability, fireball ability built into a break.
Oh, okay.
So you remove the 5 and you get to do 2 fire damage to something. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. And I think Phage has the beckon break, which allows you to beckon summon. Right? So, but yeah, definitely I think it's probably by far one of the better ones, especially for draw, right? A lot of people like the draw ability. And Bellum not seeing anything as far as draw, it's mostly a lot of protection, right? So it's different.
Yeah, it's Kasha.
It's caution.
Yes.
Right.
Ready. Next.
Next 2 actually kind of go together. So it's a combo kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. So we have the Zenith Pulse
And
and the Landmine.
Landmine and you said Zenith? I think it's pronounced Zenith. Zenith Paul, whichever.
Yeah.
Zenith.
Or same thing.
Good. Hi Devin, thanks for joining us.
So the Zenith Pulse has 3 health, 6 chi, the Swift Trap of 12 for 12 aura. Place it.
12, yeah.
Yeah, 12 aura. Place it on an occupied spot,
Yes.
and then the trigger Zenith Pulse. The end of the round, champions and summons adjacent to Zenith Pulse are placed onto it. Zenith Pulse deals 2 air damage to everything on the same spot as it, including itself. That was so hard to read because this is just a tongue twister right here. I swear.
Let's get y'all messed up.
It does. So funny.
Okay, so let's take a closer look. Zenith Pulse. Now you got me saying it. Zenith. Okay, so so it's got to go on to an occupied spot. So if there's this is definitely really good against summon decks. So if you got a specific summon and there's a bunch of stuff around it or whatnot, from your opponent, you place this on the occupied spot at the end of the round. Everything that's still adjacent to it gets sucked onto it and takes damage, right? For a 6 chi at 12 cost, really, really good.
Yeah.
However, now this is the combination that makes this even more powerful. Read Landmine.
The Landmine, 3 health, 5 chi. The Swift Trap for 6 energy. Place Landmine on an occupied spot in the arena. The trigger landmine. If anything leaves the spot landmine is on, landmine deals 3 damage to everything on and adjacent to this spot, including itself. So they do similar stuff. They do the similar thing.
Similar,
Mm-hmm.
right? But so you play these onto the summons because it has to go onto an occupied spot, right? So now they're on the landmine. So if they leave the landmine's going to go off. Boom.
Mhm.
How do you get them off the landmine?
It pulls it off and onto it.
Yes.
So you place them side by side and it just goes.
Yeah.
And then it goes pop.
Exactly. So everything adjacent to the zenith gets sucked onto the zenith, and they get pulled off of the landmine. The landmine goes off. Boom. They take damage, and then the zenith does damage to them. Can you? Yeah.
Your Steam updated.
Hey, we got Steam. So do you see the combo?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I know some timelines have already been built based on this combination. Very, very effective. Right. So counters to it, you have to destroy these traps before they go off. Right. There's just no getting past it other than doing that. Right. So
Butterfly.
both was it 3 health? Yeah, 3 health on both of them. Not that difficult to do. So you really, really want to be careful when you're playing against these style of timelines. Traps are a thing now, right? They're going to be hard to deal with. The cost on both of these, what's the cost on a landmine?
Landmine was
6 energy. With energy, you want to use it with energy reducing champions. 12 aura for the zenith, right? It's not a lot, right? So you're going to be able to play a considerable high amount of these in a timeline to force that damage to go through, right? So it's going to be a lot of continuous play and practicing on the style of timeline to see how effective it's going to be, especially against all the different other styles. I think 100% it's going to be very extremely effective against summoner decks. But again, you don't know what you're going to be playing, right?
Mhm.
So or playing against at any given time, right? So, but try it out. I recommend main board card for sure, 100%. I think the main focus of that deck is going to be just those 2 cards, right? And then you're going to want to build off of that. What else you want to put in, right? You know, you're going to do bull shots, etc., or whatever, right? So.
Yes. Next, we have protective barrier.
Yep. Yeah.
Protective barrier. So, sorry.
That's okay.
So the adjacent awareness, so front and back, sides to sides. 5 chi card. The swift cast for 2 health and 11 aura. Prevent all damage dealt to you and a target in protective barriers awareness this round.
Yes.
Mini holy wall, but it adds another person.
It's not a mini holy wall. It's holy wall with a bonus. Prevent all damage dealt to you
so never mind.
Till the end of the round. Plus,
it's holy wall's cousin.
Yeah, exactly. However, the only downfall is it has an awareness. Right?
Yeah.
Whereas holy wall, no awareness. It just absolutely prevents all damage dealt to you until the end of the round. This one. Actually, no, it does prevent all damage dealt to you and a target in its awareness, right? So the summon it's only awareness specific for the summon that you want to protect.
Yeah.
So you're not just protecting yourself, you're protecting yourself and a summon till the end of the round. So yeah, 100% better than Holy Wall. Holy Wall, 7 chi, this 5 chi, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better. Holy Wall probably going to be a thing of the past. Different in cost, 2 health. You got to take that 2 damage, right? No matter what, there's no way of preventing that unless you prevent the next damage dealt to you by other sources or whatnot to prevent taking that 2 damage, which could be a possible thing. 11 aura, definitely 100% worth it. once again, Vellum always doesn't surprise me the fact that there's so much protection with Vellum. Right? So.
Is the life.
Yeah, there's so many different combinations. Yeah, it can be used with the draw break. You're taking that 2 damage. You're putting those 2 counters onto the draw break, right, to get closer to doing that draw. Right?
This one to prevent the 1 damage. You're only taking 1 then.
Yeah, exactly. So it really supports the protected by faith, right? So you prevent the 1 damage on the cost of the 2. Right? So that's Bellum.
That is Bellum.
Moving on to
Time out. Is red.
Cousin.
Yeah. Because I said that it was Holywell's cousin.
Oh,
the
Cousin.
protected barrier is Holywell's cousin because it does the same thing. It just adds on.
They're better than Holywell, personally.
Okay.
Doing Thymos. It's my favorite. Come on. Well, Thymos and Chaos are my 2 favorites.
Oh
Right?
my god. Fine.
We should. Well, we'll do Phage last because it's the newest, right?
Yeah.
Let's do Axon. Yeah, let's go to Axon next.
Okay. Axon. There's only 5, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Should be.
Okay. So first up we got on the list is Slippery.
Slippery.
Slippery. When wet. Beep, beep, beep. So it has a double forward awareness, 4 chi. The swift cast for 8 aura is target champion or summon in Slippery's awareness moves to the other spot in Slippery's awareness. So it just like slips.
Slip and slide.
Slip and slide.
Slip and slide.
What if there's like 1 in each? Do they switch?
Yeah, good question. Target champion or summon in Slippery's awareness moves to the other spot in Slippery's awareness.
So there's 1 in each. Do they switch spots?
No, I don't think so, because you're only targeting 1. However, there's a modify to this, continuous. If the target of Slippery's cast ability has been dealt water damage, this round its cast ability becomes target champion or summon in Slippery's awareness, moves to the other spot in Slippery's awareness, and then rotates.
What?
I think if the spot was occupied by something else, you would not be able to play Slippery.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a bit of a restriction on it. However, it's like, say you need a summon or a champion to be directly in front of you, and they're in the back spot, right? Then you switch them and you put them into the awareness to another attack ability or damage ability, whatnot. So it's kind of like the claw card from Ray's for Chaos. I'm totally slipping my mind on it. It does say claw in the name. If anybody out there can remember the name, put it in the chat quick. But anyway, so yeah, basically, or grasp or something like that. Shadow grasp. Where you pull them in,
Maybe.
I think. Pretty sure.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
I think it's
Ray's
Shadow
very
Grasp.
well.
Anyway, but basically you're pulling them in and you're placing them to a spot adjacent to you. However, this, you can actually make them move into the spot closer to you, or you can push them away from you, right? However, the stipulation is if you've done water damage already, right? So any source of water damage or whatnot, you make them rotate. So, which is really good because you don't want them facing straight directly so that you're in their awareness, right? You're actually forcing them into a flanking position to be able to do damage with no response, right? Do you understand?
Yes.
No
response. Yes.
Yeah, it took me a little while too to grasp the concept of how this card actually works. Should have got it a lot quicker, unfortunately, but it was like, I wasn't really focused on it. But this is a really, really good movement card, right? So, in both defensive and offensive moves, right? So,
Yes.
Cost
8 aura.
8 aura. That's nothing, right? It's a walk in the park to cast that. What's the chi?
4.
4 chi. Yeah, absolutely amazing card for the cost and the value of it. I think it's going to be main board a lot, right? In a lot of Axon decks, especially, you want to get them into a position, say for a lot of water damage or massive damage, right? Or save yourself from taking a lot of damage and putting them into a distant position, right? So, really,
Yeah, I like the artwork too. Mario
slippery,
again.
slip and slide.
Next up, we have Redirect Spell.
Redirect spell. Anti-AoE spell.
So it's a 2 forward with like the 3 across, but it doesn't have that middle one with the upper.
Yeah,
3.
upper forward, straight across. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. 7G. The Swift. I'm gonna move my hair out of my face. I just like jam myself in the eyeball. The Swift Negate cast for 16 aura. Negate target cast ability played and redirect spells awareness. And the trigger cast, if you negate an ability with redirect spell, then you may play a copy of the ability without paying its cost. You may choose new targets for the copy.
Yeah, okay, we're going to get into it. I just want to make note of this comment. Jeff is saying, wow, they pulled out all stops of naming there, huh? How are we ever going to figure out what that spell does? Okay, Jeff, let us know which one you're talking about. Are you talking about Slippery or are you talking about Redirect Spell? I'm assuming Redirect Spell. Yeah, definitely. It's like, so you get something played at you, cast, right? It's a spell. You get to stop
Redirect
it.
spell.
And if you want it, choose. It's an option. And I'll explain why that's a good thing. You get to fire it back at your opponent.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you can choose anything.
Someone comes up, throws a tsunami at you. You're in that back row of the tsunami. You're going to take a bunch of damage. Redirect spell cancels their tsunami, and you have the option of throwing it back. The reason why that having that option is such a good thing is because why? See if you can figure it out.
Sorry, I was reading that thing. What am I looking for?
I'm trying to be silly about it. I was actually. Oh, I actually do appreciate some simpler naming conventions. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no. Like, what if you have a bunch of summons in front of you? Okay, so say right in front of you, your forward awareness, you have like a bunch of summons, like 2 or 3 summons, right? They throw a tsunami to get rid of your summons and do damage to you. You stop the tsunami. Are you going to want to throw that tsunami back at them? Think of tsunami's awareness. It's the 3x2, right? What's going to happen? You throw that tsunami back at them, you're going to lose your summons are going to take damage anyways.
Yeah.
Right? So, which is why it's absolutely amazing that it gives you the option. The fact that it says may play it back, right? Is a super good thing because if it was automatic, then it might not be as good of a card, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to want to play and destroy stuff that you put on the field, kind of thing. But it does stop it regardless, right? So now you're able to stop like electrical storm, tsunami, bolt shot, even, right? Actually, no, I don't think it does stop bolt shot because bolt shot's a technique and this stops spells. So it's the spell that it stops. So it won't stop bolt shots, but yeah, those big AoEs, like even landslide, which we could potentially see a reoccurrence of landslides coming back. All those big, heavy duty AoE spells, right? So we do have a way to deal with them, which we never really in the past, kind of thing.
Yeah. Now we have so many more cards.
7G makes sense why it's 7G. Cost 16 is decent for what it does. Yeah, definitely worth it. Is this going to be a main deck card? It's questionable, right? Now, I started off when playing around with this, and I got to use it a couple of times against a few people. It pulled off really well. However, on the flip side, against other timelines, didn't need it.
Yeah.
Right? Did not need it, right? In some decks, especially if they're playing summoners, and we're going to see a lot more summoner decks coming up. I can almost guarantee that. It's not going to be as required. I definitely recommend it as a forethought card, right? Splash it into your forethoughts. You find that you're playing that first game, they're playing a bunch of AoE stuff. You want to stop it. Definitely bring it in on the second game for sure. Carry it on into the third game, and you got a better chance of winning, right? So, and stopping them from what they're doing.
Yes.
So Axon can shoot some really good AoE, but Axon can now stop it as well. So it's definitely a good thing.
Props to Axon.
Next one.
Tar Pit.
It's a trap. Another trap.
Trap.
Traps.
Beep.
Traps. Tar Pit. Now this one I got a little bit of hack on this one. But yeah, read what it does first.
So it has 2 health, 4 chi. The Swift Trap for 4 energy. Place Tar Pit on an occupied spot. The immediate Fatigue Trap. When a champion leaves this spot, all abilities they play this round cost an additional 2 energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey Vince, thanks for joining us. Vince just
So the person that's on it, when it leaves, everything they played, they have to go back through what they played that round and pay 2 more for everything.
Yes. So every ability after the fact that they moved off of it, every ability that they played now costs an additional 2 energy. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't matter if it just only costs aura, and now you have to add on 2 energy. So they have to mill 2 for every single ability that they do until the end of the round. Now, mind you, means of this card, all you got to do is step off, exert. You haven't played any abilities. You're no longer on it. You're no longer affected by it. However, so which is what most people are stating. It's like, well, is it really good, right? All you do is step off, you exert, right? But exerting means you're ending your round. You're ending your turn, right? Now you not doing anything for that round. How crucial is that in this game, right? So now you can't summon anything because it's going to cost you extra. You can't play any spells. It's going to cost you extra. Only if you want to, right? You want to spend that extra energy.
You're gonna deck yourself out.
Well, you could,
Really,
especially with fatigue being a thing as well, right? So you're not going to want to. However, if you're just going to step off of it and end, like exert from there, you haven't been able to do anything. That stops you from doing something for the round.
The next round starts again, and you're not affected by that.
You're not affected by it anymore,
Yeah.
but still, I have stopped my opponent from doing something that round, which is crucial.
Yeah,
Is crucial, right? Maybe I saved my summons. Maybe they were going to play an electric storm, right?
Yeah.
I now stopped them from doing it because they chose not to spend that 2 extra energy to do anything.
You're very famous for stopping people from doing stuff.
Well, yeah, it's winning. Right? Okay, yeah, we'll get it.
Freaking.
What?
I forget that name of the card. What was it? Landslide?
The landslide
Yeah.
deck. Yeah, exactly, right?
That was so gross.
Yeah, well, stun's a thing, right? So, but yeah, so I mean, it would be the player's choice whether or not they want to actually spend the 2 aura to do anything, right? Even attack. Like, so if they're gonna use their basic attack or whatever, they still have to spend the 2 energy because it is an ability, right? No matter what. So no matter what they do, however, stopping an opponent from actually doing something for an entire round is really good. I think it's good, right? So.
It'll definitely help you in the long run.
But make your own decision on that. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it, how good it's going to be? But in the back of my thought, from a strategic standpoint, right? And we're going to get into that when we start talking about some of the phage traps, which I think is included in our list here. Again, right? But however, be very, very careful with traps because traps can not only affect your opponent, they can also affect you and be used against you, right? Because it stays on the field unless you're going to do the 2 damage to it to get rid of it, right? So, which is another key thing too with some of the newer traps. The life on them is low.
Yeah.
2 damage to kill it. Just have a summon, smack it, for 2 damage. Get rid of it. The effect's no longer there. You can move freely and do what you want, right? So that's the only downfall for some of the traps, newer ones, is the fact that the health is so low on them, easy to destroy. However, if they don't have the ability to destroy it at the time, they move off it, they exert, they've wasted the round, you just move forward, right? So,
Yeah. Yes.
Just what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe I might be crazy. Next up.
The Firing Croc.
Firing Croc. Okay, so one of the cards that we had spoiled during spoiler season, we actually got to showcase all of the branding summons. Out of all of them, this one I find to be the best of all of them, I think, personally. Read it. Go.
It's got 5 health. The up and across Is that Scorpion's awareness?
That is the giant scorpion's awareness.
Yeah. 8 chi. The action beckon for 18 aura. The swift cast says firing Krug deals 5 water damage to a target. Its awareness and it exerts it. And then the trigger water.
Sorry.
That hurt.
Sorry. You're okay.
Continue.
You're okay. Go.
Water brand. It's a trigger. I was gonna say you just like smacked my leg. Did it hurt?
A little bit. That was a tender spot.
So the trigger water brand. If anything is dealt damage by firing frog without water weakness, then they gain water weakness for this round. Water weakness, all water damage dealt to this card is increased by 1.
Right.
Yay.
Yes, water branding. So it gives a weakness, right? If it does the damage, right? So now it's got weakness.
It's like a pillar that moves.
However, out of all of the branders now, in each affiliation got one. You got the big crusher elephant for Thymos, bacteriophage for phage.
This one for Axon.
That's for Axon. We got the bird, the snake bird or whatever for Vellum,
Yes.
and
A Hayam or something.
Hayama or whatever. Yeah, I can't pronounce the name. And Chaos, which is the one for Chaos.
Was it the worm? No, it wasn't the worm.
No, it's not the emergent one.
Wasn't the Inferno Crawler, was it?
No. Oh boy, they're new cards. We forget. It'll come back to me anyway.
Yep.
So, Lava Rider, thanks.
Oh, that.
Cam to the rescue. Cam to the
Thanks,
rescue.
Cam.
Thanks, Cam. Appreciate that, buddy. Yes, the Lava Rider. So it's the spider for Chaos. Yeah. So out of all of them, I think this one by far is the best. Cast. It's a cast. It's not an attack ability.
Mhm.
It's a cast, right? So
it doesn't target
it does
directly?
not target directly. Yes. So it just deals that 5 water damage. Boom, straight to a target, right?
Mhm.
Stops parry, 100%, because parry can't be targeted. However,
Yep.
this can do the damage to parry, right? Get rid of it. The one thing that I really, really like the best, now some were saying that bacteriophage's awareness, because it has that Y awareness, is really good. However, this one, as we know from the past, how good was Giant Scorpion? And the reason why Giant Scorpion was so good, that awareness is insane, right? So that up forward and straight across awareness, that T awareness, absolutely amazing. You can strike from a distance, right? The fact that it's casting and not actually targeting is even better. And then on top of it, giving a water brand to do that extra damage from other water sources, right? Doing elemental damage, right? So,
Yeah.
against the bear, really good because it gives the bear the water branding, right? So that it would no longer have the resistance, right? So it's, yeah, definitely amazing card. I've already played with this one. Found it very, very effective. However, that Haunted Catacombs deck that I was working on, whatnot, I really utilized it because now my Aquatic Lutras, right, are now hitting for 3 damage once you give it that water branding, right, rather than just doing the 2 damage. Yeah. Super, super good. Definitely highly recommended for any water damage deck.
Mhm. Yeah. Definitely really good.
8 chi, it is high on the chi level. You don't need a lot of them, I don't think. I think I was only running like 4 or 5 of them at best.
Especially with the 5 health, they last you a bit.
They last a
so,
lot. Yeah, it is a beefier summon. Can withstand some good hits and stay on the field a little bit longer.
Especially with the 18 aura, you ought to have a champion that has high aura.
High aura to play it.
Or otherwise, you're done for.
Main deck 100%.
Yes.
However, as an option for a forethought card, could be right. It doesn't really matter. I would recommend it more so for a main deck. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're on our last Axon.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one. Okay. Before you announce it though, I stuttering a little bit because I got excited there. This one, I didn't really read this one and look at it until recently. So once I read it and realized it, this card is going to be super good. Okay, so before even I say it, Axon, welcome to Bullshot. Go.
Psychic Blast.
Psychic Blast.
So I'm gonna give her
Yeah.
around basically from arm down.
2 forward awareness, 6 chi, the swift range attack of 4, you discard 1, and you pay 3 energy.
3 energy.
The trigger, fatigue of 4. If the champion is dealt damage by Psychic Blast, then they pay 4 energy.
So let's break this sucker down.
Again,
Okay.
full shot. It's
Yeah.
not an area range again.
It's not an
It's
area.
just a
No,
range.
it does only hit one target, right? It is range though, right? So if it hit anything with aerial,
Yep.
cost wise, 1 less than bullshot, but you do have to discard a card, right? Which is not an issue because in a lot of cases you're just
have
discarding
something,
something that you don't really need at any given time, right? Kind of thing. Whether it's one of those bad 3 cheese they use
Or
for
like
balance.
a weak summon or,
Or
something
whatever.
that would have just been like a backup or filler.
What's the chi on this?
6.
6 compared to the bullshot 7, right?
Mhm.
So does the same amount of damage, 4 damage. Again, it's not that bad of a thing, that the fact that it's only 1 target, right? Fatigue of 4, right? Fatigue of 4 on top of it. So it's bullshot better, I think, in my opinion, for Axon.
Yeah, this is gonna be good.
Main deck card, 100%.
Yes. Don't even
first.
think about putting it in a side deck, like a sideboard or anything. No.
Right? We'll start seeing bullshot Psychic Blast decks coming out of the woodwork, right? So now you have a lower chi.
Yeah, blue, yellow.
You're saving some chi, putting it in at 6, rather than having that higher 7 chi bullshot in your timeline. And then you're also getting that option of doing the 4 fatigue on top of it. And fatigue is going to be a thing, right? I have a funny feeling.
It's gross.
It is.
But it's like, this is really easy to hit someone with.
Yeah.
Like, you can hit someone really easily with this. So, I mean, unless they, get out of it or, whatever.
Yeah.
They're
And
paying
it's-
the 4.
And it's that swift speed, right? So, I mean, they come up, they're in their main phase or whatever, they're in the awareness, boom, you just smack them back with
Play
one of
with a
these.
bunch of these and then just respond with them.
Yeah.
So then it's just like going down the line and
So
then
now,
just hit.
yeah, it's
You're going to deck them out.
it's going to be a really, really good card for Axon.
Bro, that'd be so funny. You put so many of these and they're hitting you, respond. Hit you with something, respond.
Spawn, right?
Respond.
Well, I mean, you can't just stop the discard, so you got to be careful on that, right?
I'd do it.
Yeah, you'd have to have a huge hand, like 5 or 6 of these, and then enough to discard to be able to play them, right? So
Yeah.
you gotta kind of be a little bit careful on that end,
Yeah, that's for sure.
but super good.
Yeah.
Well done for
For
Axon.
sure, yes. Yeah, Axon is stepping up their game a bit. Okay, red or purple?
Purple. Go to Chaos. That's, the last one is an honorable.
This one?
Yeah.
So put that last one?
Yep.
Just like
And then
so.
take that one right there.
Or other honorables back here.
They should be. Yep.
Versus
Yep.
two.
Yep.
Yep, these
And those are
two.
two.
This one last. Over there.
Yeah, she's just getting organized. Sorry. And the art on it is phenomenal too. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Which I had the opportunity of pulling the signed one by Sid as a box topper for the Kickstarter. So I actually has his autograph right
Psychic
underneath. Yeah, for the Psychic Blast. Look at that. Like the artwork's phenomenal. Can you imagine that? Well, you've seen it in foil.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
blast.
Yeah. Mm.
That blast coming out of Bazin's head, right, is like super cool. But the best of it all is having Sid's signature right underneath, like it was right underneath his chin, kind of thing. There you go, find it again. You lost it. Yeah, so he had signed it like right across his chest, kind of thing, right here underneath his head, right? But in the foil, oh my god, it's so gorgeous, Jeff. Yeah, you're gonna love it. So we're moving on to Chaos. Here we go. We're boiling down.
Okay, I don't even know where to start here. There's so many just all over the place. Ah.
Right? Anyway, okay,
It's
chaos. Here we go.
amazing. Okay, the first one, Wave of Death.
Wave of Death.
I picked this one out.
So, a little story about this one. I think I know my buddy Will K was putting in a huge request. We need a kill card.
It's me also. And the frog.
So then also, so she
Awesome
lies
frog.
for behind your ear.
Hey, there was a
Sorry.
huge request. We needed something that could just instantly kill something,
Beep, beep.
right? Without having to kill it through game. It's just something that boom,
Just
you
go
play
like
it
pop
and
off
it's
and then
dead.
just like drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like-
So here it is. Read it off.
It has the adjacent awareness,
Yeah, it was like a
7
lot of
chi,
trapezoid or something.
the swift cast, 1 health, and 17 aura.
But it
Kill
wouldn't
all
be, like,
summons in Wave of Death awareness.
Just kills them. Boom.
Kills
gone.
them. Gone. Boop.
Dead.
Wow.
100%. Very, very effective against swarm decks, especially. Yeah, there's not much more we can really explain about this, right? 7 chi, really good. Cost of 1 health and 17 aura. Definitely worth it. I would give up the 1 health to kill everything around me. However, you want to utilize it to its best ability. Right? So you want to, especially if you do get surrounded, boom, then throw it down. 1 summon, would you really utilize it against 1 summon that's flanking you?
No.
At that cost? Probably not.
I'd
You
use
want to
something
get
else.
the best out of every single card that you play, right? So you might,
Kim's bug deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna get into the bug deck in a minute.
Yeah.
Main deck for sure, 100%.
Yes. Of course. Especially if it's a swarm deck. Like,
Even in a forethought, it's not that bad, right? So I mean, it's like if you're not playing against it, or a swarm deck or whatever, you find that they're not putting a lot of aggression on you from summons. Going into game 2, switch it out. Just take it out. Put
Yeah.
something else that's better. That'll deal with an AOE deck or whatever. So,
yeah.
but definitely have a kill spell. It makes sense that it is for Axon, or sorry, for Chaos, right? Because chaotic and death, right? So yeah, I love it. I love it. Especially one of my favorite affiliations.
Probably just use
Next one.
Tackling Scavenger.
Cackling Scavenger. That triangle awareness, I love it.
Mm-hmm. So 4 health, triangle awareness, 7 chi, the action beckon for 15 aura. We all know what beckon does. The swift fire attack of 5 that exerts, and the continuous fear.
Fear.
Summons and cackling
Scared.
scavengers awareness cannot play attack abilities.
Yeah.
Basically can't hit them.
Can't hit him.
In a way.
So Malevolent Spirit, right?
Mhm.
In a sense, I think. Or no, it was a Malevolent Spirit. No, what was the one card that stopped things from attacking?
Oh, I don't know.
It's an older card, but anyway, in the awareness. Do you remember? I'm trying to remember. It'll come to mind. Okay, Scavenger, Fear. So it stops things from attacking that are in its awareness, right? Does 5 damage on its own. Super good, super high. 7 chi, 4 health, above average, decent. But that Fear is really, really nice.
Yeah.
You're going to want to put this beside you, right? Or just slightly in front of you so that if anything gets close, you're going to want to have this to be able to get your opponent's summon into its awareness so that they cannot do any damage, right? Or they can't play any attack. Sorry, it's not they can't do damage. They can't play any attack abilities, right? So,
You wouldn't want to put it right next to you because then it'll hit you.
no. It's not going to hit you. It's a summons in its in its
So if you do
awareness.
put it next to you, you're fine.
Cannot.
Okay.
But you want to keep it out of the way of your own summons. So if you're playing other summons, put them on the other side. You got this guy on this side. He's able to protect you. You move him
Yeah.
up 1. Anything that moves in an awareness around you, whatever, it's not going to be able to attack you, right? So
Mhm.
it's definitely a good
Yeah.
protector, right? And the 5 damage, super good, right? Like I mean, it's above average. He does some decent damage.
Yeah. Next. I picked this one out. Malefic Impalement. Oh, look at that. Malefic Impalement.
I think he's almost done.
You're so mesmerized by it.
I know, right?
Let it soak in for 5 minutes.
Done?
Yeah.
It is done. It's
So
done.
that would take out the redness, soap and confidence, we'll clean it up.
Okay, we just gotta wait a few more minutes. And we can do a big reveal. Okay, well, let's get through chaos and then we're
Very,
probably
very
going to end the stream and we can continue it because we're going to be streaming tonight.
Yes.
Um,
So, Malefic Impalement, I already showed. So, 1 forward awareness, 8 chi, the action line attack of 5. It exerts you when you pay 3 energy. You deal 5 damage to a target in line of sight of Malefic Impalement. Swift line attack of 6, exert, and 7 energy. You deal 6 damage to a target in line of sight of Malefic Impalement. And the trigger negate. If a champion is dealt damage by Malefic Impalement, then negate target ability played by that champion.
super good card.
Yes.
Super, super good card. Can stop your opponent from actually playing something that's going to be devastating to you at either at swift speed. So if they're going to be playing something that's going to do a massive amount of damage, you're within that line of sight of them. You can play it in response. It negates what they're doing. It's going to do a bunch of damage to them as well, right? So super, super good. Or it can be played at action speed where it's just going to do line of sight to them.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit lesser cost at action speed. I believe it's 3 energy to do 5 damage. So 1 less damage at action speed, lesser cost, or higher cost, 1 more damage, and you're stopped. Or either which way, you're stopping them from doing something, right? So
Yeah.
absolutely amazing card. The fact that it does exert you could be a little bit of an issue because if you do have some kind of future plan of your strategy or what you're going to do on your turn, playing this is going to stop that from happening because of the exertion. So.
Yeah.
8 G's high for it. I don't think it's going to be heavily played. You're not going to want to put like 8 to 10 of these in your timeline. You're not going to want to build an entire timeline based around it. Maybe you will, who knows? But
It's really high.
Splashing it in, highly recommended any chaos deck, especially for you want to destroy things. Get to the point, show you mean business kind of thing. Let's get rid of this. Let's stop this from happening. Boom, you're gonna want to play this. Super, super great card.
Yeah, I mean the 8 chi is reasonable for what it does. I mean it has the 2 different attacks that
2
you can from, so and with the negate on top of it. Next.
Yeah.
You want to do that one last?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Alrighty. Next
You
we
got 'em in
have
order.
the Inferno Crawler.
Inferno Crawler dash.
So it's got 6 health, 1 forward awareness, 8 chi, the action beckon for 22 aura.
22. It's pricey, but it is still cheaper than a lightless.
Yep. The
Right.
swift fire attack at 6 that exerts you, and the trigger dash and another trigger dash. The
Dash,
same
dash.
thing at the beginning of Inferno Crawler's turn. It may move. It has a double dash.
This thing's disgusting.
That is gross.
It can literally so at the beginning of its turn, it can dash, and then move twice.
You're running across the board.
You're moving one side of the board to the other with this thing.
I mean, he looks like he can run pretty fast. Look at him.
And that amount of damage is crazy.
Scurrying
Six
everywhere.
fire damage, right? Use of a fire pillar with that. Start the game off.
Disgusting.
You have a couple of these bad boys in your hand and a fire pillar. Boom.
There it goes.
Yeah, you're doing like 14. You could potentially be doing 14 damage right off the shot, right from the beginning. Sucker moves up twice, dash, rotate, game. Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross, disgusting. This thing is so good, so powerful, right?
Unless you're able to just like kill these things right away, you're getting hit.
Early game use. I mean, bringing it in late game, it can still be beneficial. However, you got to be careful of clutter on the board. You want to be able to use that double dash right off the bat, right at the beginning of the game kind of thing. So I have plans on building a timeline based just solely on this.
It's a fire swift attack of 6 too.
I'm just stretching
Yeah.
because my arms in the same so I gotta move. What?
There's so much blood.
A little bit.
But it's so good looking. Oh my god.
Right? Oh my
Okay.
god, it looks so awesome.
So yeah, the cost for
Okay,
everything
yeah, back to
is
Jen.
really The cost of it is really reasonable for what it does. The chi adds up. The aura for it, like the cost of it adds up. I mean, that double dash
So good.
kills.
Yeah. Okay.
Literally.
The next
is-
two kind of was a tie on these two, so we'll tackle both of them at the same time. I've mentioned this on a previous stream on how good these two cards are going to be in the game. Period. So
Deceit and Nullify.
Deceit and Nullify.
Casually breaking my arm.
So Nullify for sure is custom arguments with players. However, I think things are kind of getting straightened around with that one as far as how the card actually operates.
So,
Go ahead, Deceit.
Start with Deceit. 4 chi. Not bad. Pretty decent.
Yep.
The swift cast of 10 aura. Negate target ability played by you. Put a copy of that ability on the stack with the same target.
So basically, the stack starts. They're trying to negate what you're doing. You play Deceit,
Take a
cancels
copy
out what you did, and you can move it
up the stack.
up the stack. Right.
So then yours gets played first.
Yours is going to trigger off or resolve first before theirs do. Their negate or whatever they're planning to do may not even resolve. Right. So being able to turn action speed cards into swift is amazing. Right. Absolutely. amazing.
Basically a stack card.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is.
That's
Stack
all it
card.
is. It's
So
moving stuff within the stack, especially if you're going to join it with modifying. So the modified stack cards, right? If you want to get that modified ability, right? So say you played the card, it's in the second slot, but you need it in the fifth slot of the stack.
yeah.
What can you do, right? You can actually modify where your card's resolving in the stack to get that modified stack ability, right? So yeah, super amazing card. Cost of 10 aura is decent for what it does. 4 chi, definitely really good.
Yeah, the 10 aura, again, it's decent. You're moving stuff on a stack.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
You're getting a better result for your resource, I think.
Yeah. Next, Nullify.
With Nullify,
So, it's got the Triangle Awareness, 6 chi, the Swift Cast of 16 aura, negate all abilities on the stack by negate all abilities on the stack by target champion or summon and nullifies awareness. That is disgusting. They
Yeah.
do work together in a way.
let your opponent build the stack. Before you resolve it, boom, you throw a Nullify down, it stops everything that they've done. All abilities played by that champion or summon.
So you're just
in the-
paying everything that you did,
Yeah.
with just smacking them, and
Yeah.
you're getting hit with nothing.
No, just it stops all abilities. Period.
Yeah.
Right. Whether they're played, casted, it doesn't matter. Whatever. Right. It stops
Okay.
everything. Right. By the target. Right. So
Yeah.
this target.
6 chi and 16 aura, decent.
6 cheese, 16 aura, definitely worth it. It's gonna save you.
Especially with that
It's gonna
awareness.
save you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What one of the key things I like the best about is the artwork of Bazin and the little thing that he's
It's
doing there
nice.
with yeah.
He's trying to
It's
negate
super
the
awesome. The fact that it has that triangle awareness, right? So if something's coming in from the side or whatnot, or if you need to
You sure that's Basil?
is that?
You sure it's Basil?
I'm pretty sure that's Bazin. A lot of the Axon Chaos cards are showcasing. But yeah, super good card. We have discussed it before, saying how good it is. So the realization, it's going to be a main deck card, 100%. Because you're going to want to stop things. Right?
Yeah, for sure. Wink, wink.
And then last but not least is the last one.
Because
Okay,
we
yeah.
did that
So the
first.
last Chaos card,
Yeah. We should probably
probably yeah.
end this
And then we
do the
can
rest.
go into the rest later on. So yeah, this one created by my good friend Will Case. Love this card.
Yeah, this is good.
Emergent worm.
Yep, emergent worm.
Emergent worm.
Worm. I love worm. 3 health. Side awareness. It's at the side of them. 6 chi. The swift quick Beckett at 11 aura. So you place it on spot Jason. Yeah. Trigger range fire attack of 3.
Mhm.
When emergent worm enters the arena, it deals 3 range fire damage to a target at its awareness.
Correct.
And then the other one is a swift range fire attack of 3. So it basically just automatically attacks when it comes in, while also having the side attack as well.
Yeah.
which is pretty good.
Yeah, the fact that it has that triggered ability when it enters the field. Like I know OTK decks were built based around this card with Bazin because he can actually summon on the diagonals due to the fact that its awareness is side awareness, right?
Mhm.
And it's gonna do 3 damage when it enters the field as a triggered ability, right?
A loom, right?
What's that?
A loom.
A limb has the same. It has the same awareness as a limb. So
I was trying to say it and words were not processing.
okay. So yeah, we're gonna say goodbye for now because we got to wrap up here. However, we're gonna be on stream again later tonight at usually around our regular time, 6:30, 7 o'clock, somewhere in that vicinity. But we want to do a wrap up for today. For the stream, getting the tattoos, we're done. We're gonna clean up and whatnot, and start heading back down to Heads or Tails Gaming. But I just wanted to say thank you to Haunted Castle Games for giving us Genesis Battle of Champions, the game that we love so much, and we're gonna be talking more. We're gonna finish our list of the top 5 of the all the affiliations from Origins. So one super quick message going out to the entire community. I know people are saying how much, or sorry, people know how much I love Genesis, but I just wanted to prove to everybody within our community, our followers on the thing, of who the #1 Genesis fan is of all time.
Boom. It's
Boom.
upside down. But
Is it upside down?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, yeah. So boom. There it is. I finally got it done. Yes.
Biggest fan of all time.
Biggest Genesis fan of all time. Right there. #1 right here. So regardless if I win or lose, doesn't matter. I love this game. Love Genesis so much. But yeah, enough to get that done and that done. Right
Yes.
there. Boom. Okay, so we will see you tonight later on one side of the coin. I'm Steveo the Gamer.
Mack-Attack.
Bye for now.
Bye.
So,